All right, thumbs up from Eddie. Here we go. I can't wait to hear about this cop calling story. Alan, Jerry, what's up, man?
Hi there, Jerry. Yeah, Gio gave me an opportunity to tease the podcast on the Boomer and Gio show today, and I looked at my ideas, my little idea posty note, and I did call the local police this morning. Just
What
a
time? Let's give us the rundown here.
3:00.
So right before you were leaving, or as you were
Actually,
leaving?
I was in my car driving.
All right.
So maybe it's 3:05, and when I was out previously with the dog. I saw like a guy on a motorcycle. First of all, if I see anyone out, you're immediately suspicious.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you're walking a dog.
Road should be clear.
Yeah, if you're walking a dog in town, that's one thing. If you're so a motorcycle came down Ocean Avenue really kind of slow. And I was like, oh, let me take a look at this guy. Now he was wearing a reflective vest, which made me think a conscientious person doesn't want to get hit and like if you were like a punk tough guy, you wouldn't be wearing that.
You might be in all black leather.
Yeah, it might be in all black leather. So I thought, okay, harmless guy. He's allowed to be on a motorcycle. But I also saw a white SUV driving slowly and going down one block. And I saw the SUV on another block. And I was like, this is questionable. So then when I was leaving, I got behind this SUV and it pulled over.
The SUV pulled over
to
or
let
you
me
pulled
go
over?
past it.
Oh, interesting.
So I was like, sorry, suspicious. I called the police. I said, that's a suspicious. She goes, can you describe it? I did. She goes, I think that's one of ours. I go, oh. I go, well, it had no markings on it. I said, I said, it's definitely not a marked car. I don't know if you guys have unmarked cars.
Right.
She goes, yeah, I think it's one of ours, but we'll check it out. She probably hung up and went like, this idiot. I mean, I should know all the undercover cop cars by now, being that I'm practically a police officer.
No, you're not. I feel like they are changing though by the day. Like I know in our town, I used to know what the unmarked cop cars were. I don't anymore. My neighbor is a cop.
Yeah.
And sometimes he will show up in a car. He's clearly on duty. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm riding today. Like, wow.
Yeah, I like changing it up. That's a good idea.
My town changes it up a lot. So I'd give yourself a little bit more credit. I don't think you necessarily should know them all. Nice that you might.
Yeah.
But they're trying to stick one step ahead.
Yes, they have to stay one step ahead because, I guess I'm getting to be the time of year where randos will start wandering around in the beach towns.
Yeah.
Because it's getting a little bit warmer out.
Warm, yeah.
Yeah. When I first walked outside this morning, I heard yelling. And it had to be coming from 2 towns over, like Asbury Park. But the way the water carries, it's really weird.
Wow, that is weird.
I sometimes can hear full-on regular conversations of people on the boardwalk when I'm in my house.
It's amazing the way the voice projects.
Yeah, the way the voice,
the air.
Yeah, the way the voice and the air and the ocean, whatever the heck is going on over there.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm still on it, Jerry. I will still call the cops at a moment's notice if I must.
I never doubted you.
See something, say something.
That's right.
Also, I had this thought, which I had tweeted out to try to get an answer. You may have seen this before. You like music documentaries and music things. You'll hear like somebody who's like an expert musician, say somebody like a Eddie Van Halen, and you'll hear them in an interview go, I don't know how to read music.
They just play it.
Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out if that just means I can't, because having the ability to read music, I think you could figure out in an afternoon. I think being proficient enough to play while you're reading music, that's a lifetime of practice.
Sure.
So maybe that's what they mean.
I suppose. I mean, I always think I've seen enough documentaries where you'll see jam sessions where songs come to be. And sometimes it's as simple as just getting on the drums or the guitar and just putting stuff together. Oh, I like that. Don't remember that. Remember that. And then they'll, all right, we'll use this here. And then the song comes to life, but no one's writing it out. But you would think at some point to get started, you would have to learn it.
Yeah. I feel like even these musicians who say, oh, I don't read music, and there's so many of them.
Yeah.
My guess is that if I were to hand them a piece of sheet music, I'm not saying Beethoven or anything, but if I were to give you like a Bob Seger song, that they could look at and go, okay, that's a G. I know that's and be able to read the music.
Yeah. I guess not, though. I guess just, you know what? The same way there are some football players that cannot figure out a playbook and wing it. I mean, sometimes you're naturally gifted at something, and what you think or what I think should be cohesive, meaning know the playbook, run the play, know the music, play the music, is kind of split, and they can do it at a high level without that. I don't know.
Because when you look at a piece of sheet music, it's just lines with
Yeah.
dots on it.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all.
But I could explain it to you in a very short amount of time. But like I can't sit down with that and play it.
Right.
I can go slowly and go, okay, that's a B, that's a G, that's
Well,
the G up
you
here.
know what it is? You're thinking too much.
Yeah, it's too much thinking.
Like, have you ever done karaoke?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I sometimes, and I don't mean your own song parodies that you write.
Yeah,
where
you go to a bar and you sing and you're following
or
along.
a friend's house, whatever. It's easier to me to sing a song than to sing a song you're familiar with, but you're not 100% of the, or even a song but you have the lyrics in front of you. It doesn't flow properly.
Yeah.
That's why I always thought, like in baseball, I used to teach the kids, yes, this whole notion of, and this is relatable, I promise you. The whole notion of, know what you're going to do, Johnny, before the balls hit you is bullshit. Yeah, it's bull crap. Not at 6 years old or 7 years old or even 8 years old. I agree with that. You have to have your learning. When you start playing competitive baseball, though, like you need to know the game and you need to be able to react to the game. Meaning, first and second, nobody out. Boy, ground ball hit to me. I'm stepping on third. All right, what if the ball's hit to your left? What if you've got to charge that ball? What if you got to go back on the ball? Like, you need to know the game. And I would think in certain cases, like reading music, you need to know the song. You need to know the rhythm of the song, where the words fit, how you say the words and the lyrics. It's not thinking, it's reacting and knowing.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of like if somebody who's a musician who really knows how to play their instrument, and I were to hand them sheet music to a song they're familiar with, not their song, but like, oh, do you know Bob Seger's? Oh, I love Bob Seger. Oh, here's Ramblin' Man or Ramblin' Gamblin' Man, whatever the hell it is. That they would be able to play that looking at the sheet music.
So I told you about Drumeo on YouTube. Have you ever watched
Drumeo?
Yeah, I told you about this. It's famous drummers.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing to me how they'll pick a popular band or song, but from a different genre. So, like, I don't know these names. I don't know who the drummer of Metallica is. I don't know his name, but I believe he was in once.
Lars.
Is he the drummer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lars Ulrich.
And it wasn't him. Maybe it was Megadeth. I forget who it was. But it was also the drummer from Rage Against the Machine did this too, I believe. And they played like something from like Paramore or something. They never heard of the band, didn't know the music, which was amazing to me. They had Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers did one of these. And they say, all right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to hear this song for the first time. One time you're going to hear it. Then you are going to drum with it the second time. It is amazing to me what they pick up listening to it one time. And then they have to do it. And they take the drums out of the music and put their live drumming in with it to see how well they do. It's not perfect, but Al, it's pretty damn close just from hearing it once.
Yeah, one time playing.
There's no sheet music. There's nothing in front of them. That's where I say I think they're just naturally gifted with the way they hear and process.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I would love to. I've tried to learn. I guess they call it. I guess there's reading music, which is knowing what the notes are and where they are.
Yeah.
And sight reading, which is playing while reading the music.
Which I think is very, very difficult.
That's very difficult.
I think so too.
I can't even come close to that.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that.
It's just thinking way too much.
Yeah, thinking way too much. I did see yesterday, Jerry, this RFK Jr. fella, he's trying to get
rid of the dyes.
Yeah, trying to make our food healthier. He's getting rid of the colored dyes in the food.
Yeah.
And they say it has to be out by next year.
Nice. What is it? I'm being serious when I say this. Your Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
What is your product now?
I don't know.
Your Lucky Charms. What are your colored marshmallows now?
Now I know like Fruit Loops in particular, because I've seen this. a lot of these big cereal companies do have their cereals in other countries that don't allow the dyes.
Oh,
So my
okay.
guess is they'll use those.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But there still may be some that are allowed in other countries that now won't be allowed here. I don't know. But I was thinking that too. Like you're like these companies, like think of Gatorade. All the different Gatorade flavors are
They
all
have these
colors.
dyes?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. They have the dyes in them too.
God.
Skittles, almost anything that's colorful as part of the product, right? So like if you're selling, part of what you're selling is this colorful concoction. That
I didn't know Gatorade.
oh yeah,
I don't know
Gatorade.
what I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, we assume Gatorade's healthy for us.
Gatorade is only healthier for world-class athletes. It is not healthy for the common person. It's just not. And when I say healthier, I mean one.
Yeah.
That I do think it replenishes, but those are guys that are burning thousands of calories a day, not burning 300 calories by walking your normal routine.
Right.
Like it's really like drinking soda for the common person.
Yes.
It's not good for you.
No. Yeah. It's got terrible ingredients in it, but so yeah, that's I'm interested to see because, like you said, like if you're one, if you're mass producing food or beverages, that's got to be a massive what do you call that
Shift.
internal structure, like internal, like to get that switched out.
It's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Be a lot of work. But then again, at the same time, it is and it's not. If you're telling me that, and I believe you because I think I've seen this stuff too. If you're telling me that they're already mass producing it for other countries, well, then you just swap it out. And now instead of shipping only overseas, now you're shipping it that specific product here. And the other ones you're not.
But you got to though convert that section that was doing it the other way to the new way.
Well, guess what? You got more room to produce the right ones now. What am I going to do without my Fruity Pebbles?
Well, they'll just be different.
I
know. But that's a good question. Like, what will they do with Fruity Pebbles?
I have not had Fruity Pebbles in so long. But God, that was delicious back in the day.
That used to be when I was a real little kid. That was my number one cereal.
I don't know how it wouldn't. I did like not Cocoa Puffs. The chocolate pebble. What are they called? Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles.
Yes, those I did like those too.
Yeah, those
chocolate
were good.
milk at the end.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles.
Yeah.
There's certain people that prefer. There's people that like chocolate, and there's people that like fruity.
I like both.
Yeah, like Craig Carton was a big candy guy.
Yes,
he was a fruity.
Yes, he was the jelly bean guy.
Yeah,
Skittles.
Yep, Starburst.
Yep,
Chuckles.
Oh, he loved the Chuckles. He's talking like he's dead. He loves Chuckles.
Yeah.
Yes.
So any of the
I'm more
fruity.
of the chocolate person.
Yeah, me too.
But when it comes to the cereals, both. Not that I eat it anymore, but it is interesting. I think back to when Kim and I first got married, and I've told you this before. With our Saturdays, we would go to Dearborn, and Saturday was I love lunch. I would usually play golf with my dad at 8 a.m. and I would get home and 1 o'clock, me and her, she'd do whatever, running or sleeping, and then go out running and do whatever. And then 1 o'clock we would have lunch. And every week it was this big loaf of Italian bread from some bakery in Brooklyn that Dearborn brought in. And it would be, she'd get me the bologna. She would get ham and American cheese. And then the potato salad, macaroni salad, and this giant ball of fresh mozzarella in the salted water. And it was delicious. And our breakfasts, like our cereal cabinet, had Fruity Pebbles, had Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes. I didn't eat oatmeal. I didn't eat many eggs. And that's how we ate. And now I look at the cabinet, there's Cheerios. That's it. Even with our kids, they don't really eat cereal anymore. It's so different. Even lunches, we still get Boar's Head or Black Bear turkey, but that's it. And we get real cheddar cheese now, not American. That's it. And I'm sitting there eating Ezekiel bread in a freezer. I sit there sometimes like, what am I doing? This is I'm literally defrosting bread that's not bread. It's chopped up seeds to then put in the toaster to make me feel like I'm having bread. But it's better than the alternative.
Yes.
So different, very different.
I'm curious because RFK Jr. is now linked with Donald Trump. if people will be against this somehow.
Probably. I'm sure someone somewhere thinks this is terrible.
Like, why would this be a terrible
Because
idea?
they hate him.
Yeah, but like this should be one of those things to be like, yeah, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Let's get this out of our food supply.
I agree. But it's the same thing with cigarettes. Like, if you want to make cigarettes illegal because they are proven to be mass killers, can you argue that comment in terms
I cannot.
of okay? Yeah, you will get a lot of pushback from people that will say, "My body, my choice. I can do what I want, have what I want, eat what I want." You're right, you can, but I'm sure at some point someone tried to get cigarettes banned, and there was pushback for that.
Yeah, because I guess the cigarette lobbyists are very
Sure,
But
yes, but I also do believe that common citizens that were smokers were probably furious about it, even though it is for your own good and it's poison.
What's funny is too now, like say they have until 2026 at some point in 26 where it's got to be out by, which means like you could be watching the news or reading the news, however you get your news, and you see this, and those people still go, "I'm going to go eat some Fruit Loops today."
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And they're going to stock. Some people will stock up on them.
Right. Some people they're going to ruin these Fruit
Go
Loops.
to Amazon. I'm going to buy a pallet of Fruit Loops to last me until 2029.
I'll be selling bootleg Fruit Loops on eBay.
Let me ask you this though. I understand it takes time to do this. It's April. I think Labor Day is a good enough timeline. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think you'll see some companies do it as soon as possible.
Okay.
But I do think it seems like such a huge undertaking for other places. Like they gotta.
Yeah, but not if they have the recipes.
Yeah, not if
already.
they're doing it in other countries.
Yeah.
Not if they're selling in other countries.
I do agree with you though. And I don't know if this is the case, if Kellogg's makes Frosted Flakes one way and one way only, that's a bad example because I don't think there's dyes in that. But whatever the
Fruit Loops.
Say Fruit Loops, even though I think you said they're
overseas. I have seen Fruit Loops.
But if they weren't, I get that. They need to formulate something else that's going to taste somewhat close to it, make it okay. But if you are already making it an alternate way overseas, it should be seamless.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I wonder if they'll still, like, let's say Fruit Loops, they already have the one they sell in overseas. It's good to go. But they're like, Americans really love the American Fruit Loops.
Right.
We're going to sell these up until the day we can't sell these. Plus, you got to get rid of all of the ingredients that you've stockpiled.
Well, that's true.
That are going to be no good in a year.
That is true.
Or however long.
Have to make another product just to get rid of it all.
Yeah.
To put into us.
I saw somebody.
So what is like? Let me see this.
Yeah.
How about the fruit roll-up?
Fruit roll-up. Yeah. Good question.
So that probably has all that crap in it too, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
All these things we've been giving kids.
Yeah, any of the foods that are like colorful are. But I remember when I even went.
What am I going to do without a sweet potato, man?
I remember even though when I went to Italy that one time, the Fanta soda in Italy was seltzer and orange juice in a bottle.
Yeah.
And in America, it's just all fake things to make it taste like orange.
And much sweeter.
Yeah.
You can taste, though, as someone that doesn't drink soda really anymore, really, ever. If I have, it's funny you bring up Fanta. Kim bought Sunkissed soda maybe a month ago.
That says summer to me, Jerry. Sunkissed soda.
Oh, maybe maybe a month ago. And I had like maybe, I put like 3 ounces in it. I said I hadn't in a while. It tastes very chemical-y to me. As a kid, it didn't.
Right.
But it does now, not drinking it. Like I haven't had another favorite of Craig's is the Welch's grape soda. I haven't had that in forever, but I would imagine that's going to taste like chemicals too at this point.
Craig used to love a flavored soda.
Oh, I know.
Mountain Dew, Sunkissed.
The grape
Welch's
soda
grape.
Yes. He loved the Welch's grape soda. That is very true.
Hey, Tommy, give me a soda.
Tommy's doing afternoons now.
Yeah. No, he doesn't get sodas anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He
has people get him sodas now.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard towards the end of Boomer and Geo today, Boomer had a suggestion for the summer vacation.
Okay, I didn't.
And well, this would eliminate. This wouldn't be good for you, but I just want to tell me what you think of the idea. Boomer said on one of the weeks when, say, Boomer's out, that Geo should bring in one of Geo's friends to do the show with. How do you think that would go? like a non-radio person,
So
just a buddy of
in
Gio's.
the time slot that Stern and Imus once held,
Yes.
we're just going to bring friends in to co-host.
Well, that was Boomer's idea. Gio, I don't
Well,
think
why would
thought
we
it
do
was.
that?
Boomer felt that there might be a good chemistry between the two, and that when Gio was out, Boomer would bring in one of his friends to co-host.
Well, and then when they're both out, I get to bring in my friends.
Yes.
No.
You would bring in one of your friends.
Well, then what's the point of like studying this and trying to work your way up if we're just going to bring a friend in?
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
No, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. And I think Eddie had a good point. Eddie said that might be funny or fun for a segment, but then it would get
it could go
very tough.
It could go in a number of ways. You might find someone that's pretty good. You might. That's a natural at it. You might also, I've told you this story too before, when I was working with Joe back in the day before Fan, and he was paying for his 1 hour show every week before he got this job. And then when they asked him to come fill in here, I thought he was going to let me do the show. And he called me up and said, no, my friend JD, I'm not going to say his name, I don't want to embarrass him, who we went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting with. He goes, you know what? He's been good to me. I'm going to give him the show. I'm like, oh, so I had to come in and produce whatever you wanted to call it, board op for him. And that dude basically wrote out his monologue and read it 4 times, because after he finished reading it, he looked at me as if, what am I supposed to do now? Like, that's a guy who studied it, thought he was ready for it. This was a nothing station that me and you both worked at back in the day. And once the light went on, he started sweating and was terrified. Now we're going to bring someone in front of TV cameras, TV lights, seeing yourself, and we're going to do it. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, that would probably fail.
Yeah, you want to bring in a friend for a segment. Okay, that's fine. But I would not want to bring in a friend to co-host.
No.
Plus I'd be afraid if they cursed or the way people talk these days, the F-bombs fly. I don't think, I see where he's going with that, but I don't think, would you think that's a good idea?
No, I think that would be a mess.
Yeah. Plus it almost feels in a way you're making a mockery of the time slot.
Yes.
I don't like when we just give guys off the street a shot in the overnight. Like, there's got to be.
I agree with that.
Some level of, earning it, which back in the day with Mark, holy Christ, you had to jump through hoops to get a chance.
Yeah, with Chernoff, it was like a steel curtain you couldn't get through.
And then Spike lifted the curtain and stripped everybody's clothes off and said, go do a show.
Yeah.
Like, man, and which is good. It certainly led to some.
You find some people.
You did. But there were some shows that were just atrocious.
Yes.
Like, I mean, atrocious. Almost embarrassing. No, they were embarrassing.
They were. Put them in the embarrassing category.
To me, there's somewhere in the middle that I think is the right. I don't think you need that steel curtain making it so incredibly difficult, especially for people that are working here already, which Mark made it very, very difficult. But I also don't think it's got to be as easy and open as Spike made it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you figure, hey, you're a guy who's been working here behind the scenes, board op and working some shows for 5 years. Give that guy a shot.
Right. I'm surprised in Spike's time, Youssef didn't get a show.
Yeah, Youssef, yep. He was, after finishing his janitorial shift.
We had a salesman do a show.
We did.
We had a salesman do a show.
We did.
Who needed help from the producer because he ran out of things to say.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's a good point.
I'm not, man. I'm not saying anybody's name, but I'm not making that up, am I?
That is a true story.
Good God.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jerry, let's do the warm-up show.
Draft day tomorrow.
Oh, my God. We're finally here, Jerry.
We have made it.
We got one more day tomorrow to get through of shows where we could just think about the draft.
And Friday, we react to it.
Friday is actual facts and things that happened.
Whew. It's a real football Friday where we can decompress from all the draft nonsense.
Woo! I like it, Jerry. All right. Okay. Yeah. Warm up show. We'll do that now. So.